Hey, what's up? College football's back, and so am I with my nonsense. This is Kickoff with Casey. I'm Casey Patrick. Welcome to the show. Uh, we're gonna we're gonna have a lot of fun this year. It gets started, kicked off week one. Of course, everybody knows Texas, Ohio State, 11 o'clock in the morning. You got an LSU Clemson matchup later at night. Uh, we've got all kinds of stuff to get into for week one. I know week zero technically happened last weekend. We're going to get into that as well. Iowa State, Kansas State, close game. It was a lot of fun to watch. I think it was a lot of fun to watch just because it was like real college football. Maybe it wasn't even that good of a game. I just enjoyed it. Either way, I did enjoy it. I did watch it. Also, we had Nicholls State and Incarnate Word and Tarleton State and Portland State played. We'll get into all that. I just have a few scores and a few things to go over. But most of this episode, this is our first episode here for Kickoff with Casey. Most of this episode is going to be going over week one, like a preview of the matchups. And of course, week two or next week for this episode is going to be a lot of fun for me because we get to talk about the games that went on, the games that happened. So this first week might be just a hair boring, but stick with me. Stick with me. Like I said, we are going to talk about Iowa State, Kansas State too, which, a 3-point game. It was close. Like I said, I enjoyed it. But there is a massive slate of really, really fun games coming up this weekend. We've got Boise State, South Florida Thursday. You got another game on Friday with a ranked team in Illinois. And then Saturday, again, just all kinds of games up and down. We're going to get into all of that. And again, I'm Casey Patrick. This is Kickoff with Casey. Welcome to the show. We're going to get on into it. Let's start with Iowa State, Kansas State last weekend. I was really kind of excited to watch that game just personally because, Avery Johnson is one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football. But the other thing, too, is Iowa State's got a good quarterback in Rocco Beck, and he played decent. I know the completion percentage was not great. At one point, I think he was like 9 of 20-something, but he did what he had to do to come back and allow them to get the lead there late and hold off Kansas State. I think the game was like 7-7 at half. It was a really defensive game. They had a little bit of rain out there. It happens. But Avery Johnson ended up 21 of 30, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rocco, 50%. He's 14 of 28, 183 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns. But Iowa State held off Kansas State 24-21. There's a big defensive play there late. And I thought Iowa State there for a second at the end of the game. They got deep, but right before the 2-minute warning or right at the 2-minute warning, they got deep inside the red zone, and it looked like they scored. And at that point, if you're Kansas State, they go up 10, you're down 2 scores with 2 minutes. It's basically over. But Iowa State, they ended up calling the touchdown back. Iowa State has the ball, and they ran the clock out. It was, Kansas State only lost by 3 instead of losing by 10, but they didn't even get the ball back. So I don't know what would have been the better option for Kansas State there, but they didn't get to choose regardless. Iowa State didn't get in the end zone. They kept the ball and ran out the clock. So another weird incident that happened after the game. I saw a video of Avery Johnson's family getting in a disagreement outside. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't really know what happened. I do know that his family apologized. There's always somebody's got to apologize for something. So whether he did something right or wrong, I don't know. But either way, a rough first week for Kansas State, even though Avery Johnson did. Those stats are decent stats. 21 of 30, 270, and 2 touchdowns. It just wasn't enough. The Kansas State defense was good. You really would have liked it. Again, it was a 7-7 ball game at half. Iowa State did start to move the ball a little bit in the second half, but Kansas State's defense was pretty good for the whole game. Avery Johnson, again, with great stats. I'm talking mostly about Avery Johnson. Rocco's the guy that won the game. But he was having a rough first half, but the second half, like I said, he came back, helped his team win. That was the big game from last weekend. Probably the most fun game to watch. I did watch Nicholls State and Incarnate Word, but wasn't really a whole lot going on there. And Tarleton State defeated Portland State 42-0. I didn't even see that on TV. I wrote down the score after looking at the stats on Google or whatever. But that's all the games I could find from last week. I'm sure somebody else played. But we've got Thursday. This Thursday, we'll start some more football coming up. I think it's technically week 1. Boise State is on the road at South Florida. South Florida, hey, Coach Golish down there, Alex Golish. I like watching his offense. Boise State, I think they're ranked 18th or so. It's close, somewhere around there. That could be a decent game. That could be a lot of fun to watch. Plus, it's going to be the only thing on TV Thursday. There's no professional football. I know. After this last week of preseason, the teams take about 2 weeks off before the NFL starts. So it's going to be the only thing on TV other than baseball. But we've been watching baseball for the last few months. I'm a Braves fan. They suck. White Sox suck. So I'm ready to watch anything other than baseball regardless. Boise State, again, ranked on the road, South Florida. That could be fun. I like Alex Golish. I think he's a good coach. I think their offense is going to throw the ball around. Who knows what could happen? Again, this is week 1. I had all of my predictions for week 1 for the newspaper. Or for all of my newspapers, I got most of them wrong. It was not very good. But week 1's, I think most people kind of get a pass for week 1 because there's so many unknowns. There's going to be with college football too, and then on Friday you got Western Illinois at Illinois. Illinois is one of those teams. I'm going to call them an unknown because I don't know enough about Illinois. I'm going to admit to you right now, I don't know enough about Illinois, but they're ranked. And they had a great season last year. They've got some dudes on that team. I don't think Western Illinois is going to really challenge them. I could be wrong. Let's see what happens. But Saturday, Saturday's where the real fun begins. Me personally, of course, most of y'all know I am a huge Tennessee fan. They've got Syracuse. That's going to be Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm going to go watch the game over at Eric's house. That's my biological dad. We always sit there and hang out. I'll watch it with my little brothers. My cousin will come over. We invite a few other people. We like to have fans from other teams come over. We usually have a big group. Sometimes if it's a big game, we'll cook, and it's just fun. Even if they don't play, I mean, even on bye weeks, I'll go over there. I sit and watch games with Eric, and Saturday you finally get a few moments after a long, busy week. You get a few moments to sit down, breathe, decompress through the week, and watch a little football. I really enjoy Saturday. I'm going to enjoy this Saturday. Texas Ohio State, I think it's the marquee matchup. Number 1, number 3. Texas ranked number 1. Ohio State ranked number 3. I think everybody is excited to watch this game. You can hate both of these programs and still be really, really excited to watch this game. First of all, because, again, college football is back. But second of all, these are 2 of the best programs in all of football. Texas may not be the best team in the country. They might not be. They might be. They might not be. I don't know. You don't know either. And that's okay. We've got another 4 or 5 months to figure it out. But either way, we start on Saturday. Texas is number 1. That means they are at least one of the better teams in football. Ohio State won the national championship last year with a heck of a football team. Again, Jeremiah Smith is one of those guys that everybody's ready to watch. It didn't really work. It didn't really matter what jersey he's wearing. I think he's going to be the type of guy that a lot of people really enjoy watching. So that's, again, and it's first. It's the game, kicks everything off. And there was a big kind of controversy between Texas and Ohio State. Somebody wanted to push the game back, and then somebody else said no. Not real sure. I'm not real sure exactly what happened there. And the problem is, I know what I read, but I don't know if that was true either, because everything on the internet's a lie. And I mean, you don't even know you don't know what you're reading half the time. So, but I think what I remember hearing was Texas wanted to move the game to later, or maybe again, one of them wanted to move the game to later. A lot of people said it was the other team that said no, but what I remember reading on very specifically was Fox said no, we want this game at 11 o'clock. That's their 11 here. It's called their high noon kickoff. I think that was Fox's decision to have the game at 11. I think it's a great decision because you got 6:30. You got LSU at Clemson, which is, I mean, technically it's not the same numbers wise. I mean, Texas Ohio State is 1 versus 3. LSU at Clemson is 4 versus 9. So it's not technically the same kind of matchup, but it's still a top 10 matchup. These still are technically two of what's going to be the best teams in the country this year. And if you've got two games on at 6:30 and they're both like that, you just got people flipping back and forth, and you're watching commercials half the time because they always seem to get matched up. There's somebody's going to take a timeout, and the other. It just never works. Leave it like this. This is perfect. Let them play at noon. Everybody else is going to be watching a lot of the Texas Ohio State game. I will be watching Tennessee at 11. But those are the two main games for the early slate. We're going to talk about a few other games that are kind of in the afternoon slate. That one kind of starts with Indiana, and that's a game I'm really interested in. I don't think Old Dominion's going to have anything for Indiana, but I'm interested to see how the Hoosiers. Last year was kind of tough how they ended. Of course, they had a great season, and they were a lot of fun to watch. But old coach was doing a little bit of talking there at the end, and they didn't. I don't think they played as well as they wanted in that final playoff or in that final game. But I'm excited to see if they can continue that momentum that they built on from last year. And then Marshall at Georgia. Georgia, again, going with a top-tier competition to begin the season. I'm just kidding. That all the SEC teams have a really tough schedule because they have to play each other. I've been thinking about making that joke since we started, though, so I knew I had to do that. And then let's see, we've got 3 other 2:30 games for ranked opponents or ranked teams. Alabama at Florida State. This one's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to get into that. South Dakota at Iowa State. Iowa State, of course, 1-0 after last week's win. And then Nevada at Penn State. That's the last 2:30 game that we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, of course, you guys know we got to pay bills around here. So we're going to go to a commercial real quick. And then as soon as that's over, we'll come back. We're going to talk quite a bit more. So make sure y'all don't go anywhere.
He shoots, and he scores!
Got closer. All new Sportsbook, the latest gaming machines, live horse racing, and more. The Mid Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Winning just got closer.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back. This is Kickoff with Casey. I'm Casey Patrick. We're going to get back into that that 2:30 slate of games we were talking about. And I wish we had more football to talk about from last weekend, but we don't. So this episode might be just a hair boring, but just hang out with me for just a minute. And then next week's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to get into some of these matchups that I've already talked about, and then some of these matchups I'm about to get into. The first one, this is the big one for me in the 2:30 slot. Alabama, Florida State. You got two programs that, I mean, these are blue blood programs. These are some of the best programs in college football history. Florida State, of course, had a very, very tough season last year. Alabama, the loss to Vanderbilt kind of hurts everything else that you did last year that was good. And now I know that I said I'm a Tennessee fan, and Alabama fans are going to sit there and go, I don't care to listen to him. That's fine. You don't have to. I don't care. That's okay. But I will tell you, and you know this deep down, whether or not you want to admit it, Alabama's not the same tier that they were with that other guy coaching. Now, I don't think DeBoer's a bad coach. And I think he's going to be able to lead Alabama to being in national championship contention. But he's going to have to show that. This isn't Washington. He's going to have to show it here. And I think the loss to Vanderbilt, it just showed me that you're not that type of program anymore. Now, I don't think Florida State's really got – I don't know if Florida State has what it takes to just flip the switch from last year. Last year was so bad. It was so bad. And I've got a few friends that are Seminole fans. I didn't even bring up last year. I don't talk a lot to them. They don't like to talk about it. That's okay. I know how bad it was. But that's a really talented team. And I think, personally, I think they've got quite a bit of talent on the roster. I don't think it's enough to beat Alabama, especially when you take into account the fact that Florida State had such a bad year last year. Now, I'm going to take Alabama to win this game, but the one thing that scares me, and Crimson Tide fans, just hear me out here, your quarterback situation bothers me just a little bit. Now, I know that the rest of you think that I've seen a lot of these posts by the Alabama fans. They think that their quarterback room is really, really good. At least some Alabama fans think that way. I don't have near the same amount of faith as you do in your quarterback room. Now, Ty Simpson went to Westview. It's right down the road here. I'd love to see the young man do well against anybody other than Tennessee. But he didn't really show me a lot last year. Now, that backup, and I'm drawing a blank right now. I can't remember his name. Should have wrote it down. I really liked the way he threw the ball, though. And I watched a little bit of tape on him whenever somebody said something about him a few weeks ago. So I started watching a little bit of tape on him. Still can't remember his name. But I really liked the way he threw the ball. I liked the way he could move around and use his legs. So it makes me think maybe you've got a quarterback controversy. And here's the real negative about that. Even if your quarterback's not great, you can usually just go into week one against a bad opponent. I'm not saying Florida State is, but sometimes you play a bad opponent on week one. Sometimes you just go into week one against a bad opponent. It doesn't matter if your quarterback's bad. You just turn around, hand it off a few times, play good defense, you win the game. Nobody cares. But against Florida State, you might have to throw the ball around. You might have to score points. And if you have to score points and your starting quarterback doesn't do it as well as you need him to, that's when those, quarterback controversies start. If you get a quarterback controversy in week one, Florida State can win this football game, which is crazy because they won, like 3 games last year? 2? It was bad. But Alabama, again, if your starting quarterback, you're going against the Florida State Seminoles. And if your starting quarterback comes out and you don't come out hot, you put yourself in a bad situation. Just going to throw that out there. Of course, the next matchup, South Dakota at Iowa State. Iowa State's 1-0. A little bit of an easier matchup, I believe, this week in South Dakota instead of Kansas State. Look for the Cyclones to go 2-0. Nevada at Penn State. Penn State's ranked number 2 in the country. And I'm not real sure why. Because James Franklin, who, to his credit, they win at least 9 games every year at Penn State. I think James Franklin is a good coach. But they choke. They choke way too often. I got a gnat in front of me. They choke way too often. They have these big moments against big teams, and they lay eggs. I don't know why Penn State's number 2. I don't know why they should be considered number 2. Well, never mind. Either way, I think Penn State, they're going to win this game. They're going to beat Nevada. I think they're like 40-point favorites. They're going to win the game by 40 or 50 points, easy. But I'm more excited to see Penn State against some of these other teams that are ranked to see how they respond. Moving on to the 3 o'clock slate, Montana State at Oregon. Oregon's got a new quarterback this year, I think, Dante Moore. He's going to be fun to watch. Check him out. Montana State, they're not going to have nothing for Oregon. I think Oregon wins, and probably by quite a bit. Let's see. What's the next match? Oh, Illinois State at Oklahoma. Interesting. Now, Illinois State, again, they're not going to have anything for Oklahoma. But I don't know a lot about Oklahoma. That game, let's see, at 5. See, you got 5 o'clock. It's going to come on before this 6 o'clock slate of games, and it'll be after some of these other games will be over. Some of us are still probably going to be watching the end of the Alabama-Florida State game, so I may not get to see any Oklahoma stuff. But I mean, I'm kind of interested to see how Brent Venables and the rest of that program out there see what this year looks like for them. I know Venables hadn't really looked great yet since getting there, so interested to see what this kind of looks like. UTSA at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is just one of those programs that they continue to win 9-10 games every year. They're not ranked up there like Penn State is for whatever reason. But I mean, A&M's going to run away with that game, you would think. I mean, the Roadrunners of UTSA, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be a nice little Cinderella story. I'd love to see that. I don't believe that's going to happen, but look for A&M to pull away in that one. North Dakota at Kansas State. That's the Texas A&M and then the Kansas State game, 6 p.m. Kansas State, of course, 0-1 after last week's loss. Probably going to get, I'm assuming Kansas State will get into the win column this week. And then 6 o'clock, LIU, whoever that is, going up against Florida. I don't even think I could find like a spread for this game. So Florida's going to win by quite a bit. Arkansas Pine Bluff at Texas Tech. That's at 6:30. I'm running out of time here. I got to make this quick. LSU at Clemson. Clemson is 4-point favorites. This is my bet. I'm taking LSU and I'm smashing. Are you serious? LSU and 4 points? I don't think Clemson should be a 4-point favorite here. I like Cade Klubnik. Dabo Swinney's a good coach. I know their defense is going to be good. Their defense is supposed to be generational. It's supposed to be. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. I'm not huge on him. I'm not as high on him as other people are. But I think he's going to be able to go. I think LSU goes and wins this game. I'm taking LSU. I don't think Clemson is as good as everybody thinks they are. That's the 6:30 game. Be ready for that. And then let's see. I think there's another later game. Oh yeah. We got New Mexico at Michigan, 6:30. Georgia State at Ole Miss, 6:45. East Texas A&M at SMU at 8. And Northern Arizona at Arizona State at 9. Interested to see how Arizona State responds. Last year was a great year for them. Kenny Dillingham, awesome coach. He's awesome. He's a lot of fun. We're going to take our last real quick commercial, so make sure y'all don't go anywhere. And then as soon as y'all get back, we're going to end this show off. Just got a few other things we're going to talk about real quick. And then make sure y'all don't go anywhere.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
He shoots, and he scores!
The winning just got closer. All new Sportsbook, the latest gaming machines, live horse racing, and more. The Mid Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Winning just got closer.
Welcome back to Kickoff with Casey. We're going to end off this first episode. Again, like I said, I know that this first episode is kind of boring, just me talking about stuff that's coming up. Nobody has a crystal ball. I get it. But next week should be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to talk about some of these huge matchups from week one. And we're also going to be able to get into week two, more about what's coming up. But before I leave you guys, one other thing. There is we got a few Sunday games this year, which is cool for week one, which I think they've done that before. It's nothing new. But the first game is going to be Virginia Tech at South Carolina. That game is at 2 p.m. on Sunday. South Carolina ranked 13th in the country. I like Lenore Sellers. I like the defense. Somebody said the other day, South Carolina could have the best offensive player and defensive player in the country on their team. But Beamer's weird. I'm out on him. I don't think he's gonna win. But whatever. Maybe I just don't like South Carolina. That would make plenty of sense too. The later game Sunday, and this is what we're gonna end off with. Notre Dame at Miami. And this is, again, out of this whole first week of matchups, this is another one of those big matchups between two teams that you could potentially see in the playoffs later this year. So, I mean, both of these teams, I think both of these teams are going to have new quarterbacks. Yeah, no, they will. Both of these teams are going to have new quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of new quarterbacks here. I know Texas has got a new quarterback. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Ohio State's going to have a new quarterback. Tennessee's going to have a new quarterback. That's been a big talking point this year. Now, out of all the teams that have old quarterbacks, they're going to be fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. But some of these new quarterbacks, it's going to be really cool to see kind of where they slot themselves as far as the hierarchy of college football. But I just want to thank you guys. This is the first episode. This is Casey's Kickoff with Casey, excuse me. And this is the first episode we're doing of this for this year, this college football season. Make sure you come back around. I think this is going to come out every Wednesday around noon, maybe 1 o'clock. So make sure you're ready for it. It's only 30 minutes or so. So maybe not too much time out of your day. Maybe turn it on whenever you're driving down the road or whatever. But if you have anything you'd like to tell me, please feel free to email me, cpatrick@mainstreetmediatn.com, or you can comment right here on this post. But thank you for watching, and get ready for some football Saturday, and we'll see you guys next week.